Alright, so yeah, we have a UU battle here against Sunman from Smogon. Now this is my first UU battle on this channel, or since I started this channel, so I'm not that great at it. I've played maybe like um, a 30th of the amount of UU battles as I have OU battles. But I use Protect because I know the fake out was coming, and then here I knew the U-turn was coming, but I didn't want to switch out because he would just switch something else in. So I just stay in and use Blizzard, and he comes in with Moltres, and that takes Blizzard neutrally, and it does just over half, or just equal to half. And here I predicted him to use Flamethrower to finish me off, but he ends up using Roost, which sucks. I probably should have seen that coming, but like I said, I don't play UU that much, so I'm not familiar with the UU Pokemon. And yeah, I use Ice Shard here, predicting the Flamethrower, and okay, at least this time I was right. Yay! But yeah, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that much, but it still does damage. And now because of Life Orb and Hail, he's at half. So really, my strategy with this team is to wear him down slowly. I'm not aiming to kill anybody yet or faint anybody yet for you PG-13 people. And yeah, so I'm switching my Jinx, and he switches in Registeel. And I knew he was going to use Thunder Wave or Toxic or some sort of status move. And I switched into my Hariyama because he's it's a sleep talking one. And yeah, I'm just waiting to do the Force Palm on him, but I get paralyzed, which sucks, but it still wouldn't have done that much. But like I said earlier, my main strategy is to just slowly wear everything down, because not a lot of things in UU have recovery, or not as many as OU has. So I keep using Force Palm, and he gets paralyzed here, but considering the odds, and considering I'm using a stall team, it would have eventually happened, so it doesn't matter that much. I mean, it matters that he's paralyzed, but in the end, he probably would have gotten paralyzed anyway if it wasn't this move. So I switch in Walrein, predicting the Air Slash, and he gets paralyzed, which is good. And here he uses Hidden Power. I'm guessing it's Electric or Grass, I think. I don't know, I'm not familiar enough. Maybe Fighting or Rock. Oh, it might be Rock, actually. Rock seems like a good idea. Anyway, he uses Roost this turn, and I predicted him to use Hidden Power again, and I was just waiting for the paralyzation to kick in. Yeah, sorry, the narration's kind of slow because I'm still trying to remember what I did. It was a really long battle, so it's hard to remember everything. Yeah, okay, I used Protect, predicting him to attack this turn, but he switched out. And I guess I'm should have had Stealth Rock up, but I don't have Stealth Rocker on this team, which it sucks, but you know, whatever. I'm kind of weak to Fire type, so having Stealth Rock would be a good idea. You know, whatever, that doesn't matter too much. I'm just used to having Stealth Rocks in OU. Anyway, this Registeel is annoying the crap out of me because it's pretty beastly. Fortunately, it doesn't do much to me, and I can just slowly weaken it with Blizzard. Now here I know he's going to keep using Iron Head, so I switch out here, I'm pretty sure, and I switch to my Hariyama because I know it can take an Iron Head pretty well. Alright, and let's see how much Iron Head does. And it doesn't do that much. Maybe it does like a quarter, less than a quarter, maybe. Actually, it does exactly a quarter. That's pretty funny. So I switch out here. I'm guessing because I wanted to set up. Ideally, I should have stayed in and kept using Force Palm just to finish off a Registeel. But I guess I didn't because I wanted to set up. But anyway, now that Uxie's in, I'm definitely gonna use Calm Mind right here, and in comes his Spirit Tome. Now, I use Calm Mind, and when I see that Hail hits him, and he doesn't recover with leftovers, I'm guessing it either has a Life Orb, or Choice Band, or Choice Specs. I know it's a choice item, so I was really fearing the trick at this point, but it ends up being a Choice Band. So I stayed in just to like just to risk it, because I knew if he had a choice scarf, he wouldn't just throw it away that quickly. Like, usually people would only trick once their health is down a bit. But he ends up using Pursuit, and here I'm thinking that he's gonna either trying to finish me off here, but he knows that I can finish it off, or he thinks I'm gonna use Thunderbolt or something, and that's why he switched to Dug Trio. So, but I used Rest, and he didn't predict that. He didn't see that coming probably, and when he sees that, he's probably gonna switch out his Dug Trio now. I say probably because I don't really remember what happened. Like I said earlier, it's a really long battle. But yeah, he switches in Spirit Tome again, and here I'm predicting the trick, because he sees that I'm a threat, and he's gonna use Trick here. So I switch in my Jinx to take the Choice Band, and he'll get a Choice Scarf. And since I know because of that he's gonna be stuck into Trick, he's gonna want to switch out now. Now, out of all the Pokemon, I'm pretty sure he's gonna want to switch to Registeel, so I'm gonna use Trick now to give his Registeel a Choice Band and to give me leftovers. So now, two of his Pokemon are much less useful than they were earlier because of this trick. Now, here, I'm just gonna put it to sleep with Lovely Kiss, and after that I'm just gonna try to wear it down over Blizzard, because really the only way to kill Registeel on my team is just to slowly wear it down. I mean, if it has Rest, I guess that would have been bad for me, because the lack of recovery really helps me here. Now, after all the hail damage, he has about a third left, and since he's no longer getting leftovers, that's good. Now, the bad thing about this Choice Band is that now that he has set up Stealth Rock, and all my Pokemon are essentially either paralyzed or can resist the paralyzation because of sleep or substitutes, really the only uses Registeel is going to have is Iron Head, and that Choice Band boosts the Iron Head damage a lot. So I'm going to probably want to knock it off later with my Hariyama. Now I just send in my Uxie, and he sends in his Blastoise, and I know I need to get as many turns of sleep off as I can, and once I wake up I just use Thunderbolt to see how much it does. Now it does about a third, and that just shows how weak Uxie is without any Calm Minds. Now at this point I'm probably going to want to either use Rest or Calm Mind. It might be Calm Mind, because yeah, it's probably Calm Mind. Yeah. And I see Dug Trio, and I know Dug Trio either has Sucker Punch or Night Slash, and either way it's not going to do that much damage to me because Night Slash is pretty weak, and Sucker Punch wouldn't attack because I would use Rest. So Rest was a very good choice here. And after all the hail, his Dug Trio has now a fifth damage, and I have full health. He withdraws, and this made me think he's Choice Banded, or Choice Scarfed, or a Choice Item. But it turns out to be Life Orb, and you'll see that later on. In comes his Spirit Tome, and I'm switching out because I only have one Calm Mind up and I'm sleeping, and a Pursuit would kill me, or I was predicting the trick again. I was predicting something. I knew that Pursuit would do damage to me and I'm asleep, so I would wake up with like less than half my health, and that's not really that great. And I knew that if he wanted to trick, it would ruin me completely, so I'd switch to Jinx. Either way, I get a Choice Scarf, or the Pursuit hits my Uxie. Either way, it's not the worst. So I send in my Jinx, and I'm just going to use Blizzard now. Now here, he predicted me to use Psychic, and I knew he would predict that, so I just kept using Blizzard because I know he wanted to send in his Spirit Tome for one last shot. And I finished it off. So now that my Jinx is here, he's going to send in Ambipom, and I know the Fake Out's coming, but I didn't really expect it to do this much damage. I predicted to live it by like, I don't know, even 10, maybe 20 HP, but it did a lot, and my Jinx ended up going down. I guess I should have seen that coming because he has Life Orb, it's Stab, Technician, and my defense sucks, so I guess the conditions were ideal. And I use Protect just to scout what it does, and I completely forgot that it has Low Kick. And he makes a good prediction here because I switch out here, and he probably saw that because of the Low Kick I'm going to want to switch out, and he did U-turn, so that was a pretty good play on his part. And he sends in his Doug trio, and I know that the Doug trio, like I said earlier, it's either choice banded or choice scarfed. Either way, it's not doing that much damage to me because, again, it's even though it's stab, it's not super effective, so it's not gonna do a whole lot. And I knew I would survive, so I see that it has life orb now, and then, like I said earlier, so I used rest, and my HP is now full. And he's probably really annoyed with his team right now because all I'm doing is resting and pretty much making all the damage he's done useless, while all the little damage he accumulates because of hail and resisted blizzards I send in is making his team a lot weaker. So I use Sleep Talk, and it knocks off his choice band, which is good. Like I said earlier, the only reason his Registeel is here is because of Ironhead now, and the choice band boosted his Ironhead. Now I use Sleep Talk again, and unfortunately it did knock off instead of Force Palm, but you know, what can you do? So here I'm gonna wake up, and I'm finally gonna do Force Palm to finish off this Registeel, which is really annoying me. And yeah, so that's an annoying wall down, and pretty much after this point I was 100% sure I was gonna win, because really the only thing in my way was Registeel, which from the start was a good sign because Registeel is not that hard to finish off. I mean, everything else on his team gets pretty much owned by Blizzard. And yeah. So when it comes to his Moltres and he does Air Slash, I pretty much just death foddered my Hariyama because he was pretty much useless. He has Moltres, Blastoise, Ambipom, and then something else. So Hariyama wouldn't have that much of a deal. So I just needed something to send in Walrein. And at this point, all I had to do was just set up a sub and have him be paralyzed. Now that would have happened eventually, regardless of what he did. And I just wanted to have a sub up, and fortunately it happened earlier, so I didn't have to do any like protect stalling later on. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered if he did hit and not if he did not get paralyzed until later, because like I said, I could just use protect. Now when it comes to Blastoise, and I'm just gonna use Blizzard to finish it off. Now I don't know why he wanted to keep his Moltres. It's pretty strange in my opinion. It's paralyzed, it's at low health. You know, it kind of sucks. I don't know why he just didn't let it die as and death fodder it to send in Blastoise, but who knows. In comes his Doug trio, and he's gonna use Stone Edge. Here I really should have used Toxic and then the Protect substitute combo, because that way I could just wear him down slowly with Toxic, and still have a sub up once it dies. So that would have been a better play, because as you're gonna see, Ambipom is gonna come in, and Ambipom is gonna do a whole lot of damage to me with low kick. But fortunately, it doesn't finish me off. So I guess it didn't really matter in the end. But it would have been safer if I had a sub up here. Now, I use Blizzard and I finish it off, and he's gonna send in Moltres, and I'm just gonna finish that off. And that was a good game. It was actually pretty long. It was a good EU battle. Usually people either disconnect or run by now, because it's pretty annoying. But he was a good sport. Well, kind of a good sport. He did one thing I really hate when people do. It's when you beat them, and then when they say good game to you, they say like, oh, good game, you won because I got paralyzed at the end. And even though it's meant innocently, it still like discredits your win completely, because they're just pretty much saying, oh, I would have won if you didn't paralyze me at the end. And I told him like, no, I pretty much had the battle like 10 minutes in. But yeah, that's the only thing really that was a bad sport on his part. But yeah, I'll upload a battle sometime later this week. I'll see you guys later.